Carl and Damon here from Games, Brains and Headbanging Live, gbhblofficial for short. And it's the end of the year, end of 2024. And if you've been following along, you will know that throughout the year, every month or so, we've done the games we were playing video, where we just talk through the games that we've been playing, the things we've been enjoying, and the things we haven't, ranting and raving, and just sort of spitballing back and forth about some of our experiences. Well, it's the end of the year, and we decided to do a big end of year one. Not necessarily a best of or a worst of, but a number of different questions related to gaming. Let's talk about the games that we've been playing throughout 2024. That's what we're here to do. We're going to just run back and forth talking about some of our favorite games, some of our most disappointing gaming experiences, some of the worst games we played this year, some frustrating experiences, favorite achievements, games that we sunk most time into, and so on, and games that we want to play. That last one is hilarious because as of the time recording, it is December 12th, Thursday, December 12th at 1 p.m. And in the last freaking week, I have had to contend bear in mind, people, I've got a full-time job. I have a wife. I have a life. I want to go to shows, and I've got video edits to do and stuff to write for a website. Amongst all of that, I occasionally find time to play some games. And then they go, hey, Carl. Here is an Indiana Jones game that you really want to play that everybody says is brilliant. Now, not when I say everybody, I mean literally fucking everybody. And while I was initially dismissive in a text message between myself, you, and Liam, because of a major publications review score, everybody has said that same thing. And when everybody's saying it, chances are they're right, which you can confirm, yes?
Me personally, I'm probably about 3 or 4 hours into the game. I think graphically it's amazing. I think I don't think it's Harrison Ford's voice, but it
Of
sounds
course
so
not.
similar.
Yeah, of course
It
it's not
sounds
going to be. He's not going to
yeah,
be involved at all. He wouldn't want to. But would you? I mean, I'm not being funny. The dude's getting on a bit.
but it sounds virtually a splitting image of his
Yeah,
voice.
yeah, yeah.
But like all new games, it has got issues. Already, there's been a lot of issues with the documents, and there's been a lot of people who have had glitches with the documents. And the developer have already said they're releasing a patch
Of
for
course.
the because you can get 49 out of 50 documents, I believe, and one is not there. It's just not there, and a lot of people can find it, and a lot of people can't find it.
Stop. Honestly, when did it become acceptable for this just to happen? Oh, well, they'll release a patch. So for fuck's sake, maybe don't release your games constantly needing fixes. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness me, that's frustrating. But right. I mean, I'm well aware that majority of people are saying it's good. The reason why I'm sort of mentioning this is because that came out, and that's on Game Pass, so I haven't even got to buy it. Do you see what I mean? Like, so it's free. That came out. The Thing Remastered came out. The Thing game from the early noughties came out. I never played this back in the day. So I was stoked to see this. And it comes from Night Dive Studios. And Night Dive Studios are becoming one of my favorite studios. They are taking, this is the guys that did Shadow Man and all of that. These are the guys taking old games, remastering them, redoing them, but like doing it with such love and care that it's not just a re-release. They're not just slapdash. They're taking their time. So I wanted to play that. I started that, played a bit for about an hour. Love it, fantastic. And then at the same time, they went also, buddy. You've got no time at all. You've got Indiana Jones. You've got the Thing, and you've got the games that you were playing beforehand. The Tomb Raiders and all of that I'm now really sinking a lot of time back into. But also here's the remastered Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver games, 1 and 2. And I was like, seriously? So I'm like, okay, last night I got in from work as I was home already got to work, and I was like, right, can't step too late, but you can probably step till about 2:30 in the morning. You've got an hour and a half. What do you want to play? And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to start Soul Reaver. Put Soul Reaver on and stuff like that. Honestly, it's just nostalgia heaven, you know. I presume you haven't played it, started it, or anything like that.
I haven't played. I played the Thing on the PS2. Obviously, and I completed that, but I haven't played the remastered version. I will do at some point, and obviously, I completed Soul Reaver 1 and 2 back in the day.
No, but I'm
But yeah,
talking about this, the remastered versions. Yeah, that's what I
no,
mean. Yeah,
no,
I know back in the day you would have done, of course, 100%. But yeah, it's just, I mean, it's just cool. Obviously, it's a remastering, not a remake. And like for example, they were like, oh yeah, we put a map, they put things into like a map. The map's terrible. So it's like they haven't really helped with that at all. But there's lots of little bits I'm noticing that are just slightly different. You know, when it's just like that's a little different here and there and stuff. Obviously, it looks very, very good, and obviously it's Soul Reaver and stuff like that. But it was just like the first time the boom, an achievement unlocked, and I was like, oh, it's a Soul Reaver with achievements. That's weird. And like I looked at the achievement list, and like the achievements look like they encourage you to do everything. Like you've got to find all the glyphs, you've got to do everything in the game, and I'm like, that's pretty freaking cool. So they're really
yeah.
trying to make you do. They're not just going, oh, play through the game, and here's 100 G for each achievement. Do you know what I mean? Like they've really got out of the way. And Soul Reaver 2 came out on the PS2 when I wasn't playing games. I've never played Soul Reaver 2, so I'm really looking forward to that.
What sort of price are they charging for them?
I think it's 34.99. I think it's 34. I think it's 34.99.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's reasonable for two games.
Yeah, I mean, yeah and no, because like the thing remastered was 24.99, and I think that's more reasonable. Even though it's only one game, any
Mm.
remastering, I don't think should cost. I might be wrong though. Don't quote me though. Some of them might be cheaper. For some reason, I think 34.99, but now I'm second guessing myself, and I'm thinking, wait, is it 24.99? So
Mm.
don't quote me on that price. But yeah, the whole point was, whole point of starting this video off like that was just like, oh my god, not enough time in the world. Are you kidding me? You know?
Yep.
On a plus, I've looked and I can. It looks like maybe there's nothing major coming out for a while that I'm interested in. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe nothing major. But then they do
Yeah.
that, and then something great will drop anyway. You know.
Yeah. 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 Of course.
But the joke is, all around this, I am obsessed with Rise of the Tomb Raiders Expedition Mode. Obsessed with that. It
Mhm.
might be my favorite thing that any Tomb Raider game has done. Like I absolutely love that mode. So like it's really hard for me to tear myself away from that. Now, thankfully, I've done the major solo ones. This I don't know. Have you put much time into this yet?
I've done a lot of the ones. I've got all the crypts and eating the five animals, but I haven't done the like 10-day survival ones yet, which are pretty straightforward. But I think that will be excellent in co-op. By the way, I think it'll be very
Yeah,
enjoyable.
I do as well. We are planning to do that. We've got co-op achievements we need to get for that, so on. But the solo stuff, like I loved, I loved the 10-day survivor stuff. Like enough so right that you know how it works. You choose the challenges, and that's the only way they can be unlocked.
Mm.
So I purposely, well, naturally, there are two for surviving 10 days. One for escaping with 10 artifacts after 10 days, and one for just surviving 10 days. I decided to separate them and not do them in the same playthrough. So I had a reason, an excuse to play it twice. Because I just
Mm.
fucking find it so much fun. There were times where I remember there was one where I was just blazing, like, and I don't know about you, like, have you had many times where like you were just you made it really far and then you just died because you fucked up? Like either you got attacked by too many bears, or you
Mhm.
overestimated the amount of enemies, or my favorite, I just got caught in a fucking trap in a crypt.
Yep, it's always the goddamn crypts, and like, I'll be in a crypt. I'll drop down on a ledge, and there'll be a trap below me. And because when you fall down, you sort of stumble a little bit, and I don't have time to jump, and then I'll probably get spiked by the spikes. Like that. For fuck's sake, again.
Because of the challenge for doing 5 crypts without activating a trap, like I'm now learnt. Like I could play it now, not with my eyes closed, but I've now learnt almost where every trap gets set up, because basically
Mm.
they get set up in very similar areas, because there's only like 2 or 3 variations on crypts and then they repeat. But
Mm.
honestly, my favorite thing that always made me laugh when I'd be like they would basically, have you had a bear just sneak up on you?
Yep.
That shit kills me every time. Like there are times when it gets a bit crazy, and you'll be fighting like 4 bears at once. Poison
Mhm.
arrows, people. Poison arrows are the dom for these bitches.
Yep.
But there'll be times when I'm like, I think like I'll be like, and I'll just get swiped from the back, and like for something, it just makes me laugh every single time. But yeah, I absolutely love it. It's been so hard to tear myself away from that, and I'm really looking forward to what's happening to time to do the co-op stuff. I think it will be a lot of fun too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's get on to this year roundup. We're not doing our let's what we've been playing this month. We're gonna do the year roundup. So we will start with the more positive stuff first, I think. I think we should talk about some of our favorite games of the year. Now, I asked you to come up with five, but if you've got more or less, it's not really a problem. It's really just five games that you have thoroughly enjoyed this year, or a number of games you thoroughly enjoyed this year. So I'm going to get us started because this one concerns us both. Because I think part of the reason why I enjoyed it so much is because we did it together and we did it properly together. We didn't rush. We weren't just going for achievements. We were playing the game and experiencing the story. It's Dead Island 2
Mm.
and it's DLC, House, and Soul. And I should reiterate, this isn't all about the games that came out this year. It's not, the games didn't just have to come out this year. These are games that we've played this year for the first time. That's our rule. Because obviously Dead Island 2 came out, I think, the year before 2023, if not earlier. But yeah, we played Dead Island 2 through together in cooperative mode. From the first, like, neither of us had played it beforehand. So it was brand new for us. And we put a lot of time into this and had a lot of fun with it. It's got two good DLCs, House and Solar, and there isn't going to be any more because the developers have now wrapped it up with a free DLC, which gave a couple more achievements and a new game plus, which, another reason to play through it, which I did solo. I think I played all the Dead Islands. I played Dead Island 1, Riptide, Escape from Dead Island, which is one of the worst games ever made. Thankfully, that only exists on Xbox 360, so don't ever play that. And now this one. And I think this is the best Dead Island. I think this is one of my favorite zombie games overall, outside of State of Decay, obviously, and some of the Dead Risings. But Dead Island 2, I think it's a fabulous, fabulous game. Loved it. I had a great time with it.
Yeah, so it was a very enjoyable game. I mean, I haven't gone back and done the other DLC yet. Obviously, I'll repeat it, but I will do it at some point. But yeah, so the co-op was fun. It was a very enjoyable game. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay, your turn.
I'm going to roll this one into two games, but
Cool.
considering like a month ago, I had never played these games, and I was watching a TV series with you, and we were
Oh,
reviewing them. I've got to put Tomb Raider and Rise of the Tomb Raider. I can't do Shadow yet because obviously I made a mistake by starting Shadow by accident, but. We'll get to that at some point. But
it
Tomb Raider
will.
and Rise,
I can confidently say you can confirm you can turn this into the whole trilogy. If you like Rise and you like Tomb Raider, you're gonna love Shadow. You know?
I mean, I played the first hour of Shadow, so I know
Yeah.
it's a good game. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I think graphically they're amazing games. Absolutely, and at least I find I understand the TV series a bit more too. So
Yeah, the fabulous games, of course. I mean, it was one of those where, because of the show, I was banging on at you about how brilliant they were. So it's fantastic that you finally got to experience them. And that, it's crazy. Like, you knew Tomb Raider beforehand, and you might have played like the original Tomb Raider back in the PlayStation 1 days and stuff like that. But like this is like crazy now that in 2024 you've sunk how many hours into Tomb Raider? Finally.
yeah, it's got to be at least 80 hours plus over both games. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because of all the DLCs and stuff like that, particularly with Rise. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, my next one, Evil West. God, why aren't more people playing this game? Seriously, if you love old school action adventure games that have where it's level based, you follow a linear path, it's action and horror where you're killing vampires in like a steampunk Western environment, guns, melee, lots of blood, big bosses, collectibles. The levels were linear. None of this open world shit. It was so refreshing to play a game, new game, that wasn't like, hey, here's an open world. It was, no, here's a level. And you go from that point to that point. And along the way, you'll do some puzzles and platforming and shoot and kill lots of vampires. Evil West is awesome. Seriously, people, it was on Game Pass earlier this year. I don't know if it still is, but honestly, Evil West, fucking play Evil West. Everybody, play Evil West. It's so much fun, particularly if you're from my era, where these games were more common. Nowadays, developers are too scared to do these games because, it's not, you've got to give people open world, otherwise they get all upset. And, the
Mm.
idea of just doing a linear level where there's no branching paths. Like Evil West has the classic thing, right, where you'll come to a fork and you'll go down one and that one will end at a collectible, and then the other one's the correct way, and that's it. No having to
Mm.
wander around and there's no getting lost. How can you get fucking lost when you go A to B? Like but it's so much fun. It's got leveling up. It's got weapons galore, lots of crazy moves, lots of crazy villains, a great end boss that's really challenging on the hardest difficulty as well. Just a great story. Vampires, Western, steampunk, kick ass. Evil West, one of my favorite of the year.
Well, I haven't played it,
I know. That's why
so
I'm banging on about it. I banged on about it when it first came out and nobody listened to me. Listen to me, people. Anyway, your
well,
turn.
as you said during the intro, there's so many goddamn games to play at the moment. It's so difficult, and that with all my games, that game doesn't fit into it at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah, fair enough.
Who I'm going to go for? I'm going to go for my time at Sandrock.
Cool.
So I've gone through all the games I've played this year, and this one easily comes into my top 10. And it's my type of game. It's a building game, open world game. I know you've obviously played and completed it. I haven't completed it yet. It's actually been put on a bit of a side note for me at the moment because of other games. Well,
Yeah.
namely Tomb Raider, but yeah, it's a very enjoyable game.
Yeah, I've got it as well. It's actually in my favorite games of the year. I was a huge fan of my time at Portia. Thoroughly enjoyed that, flaws and all. And my time at Sandrock was the same experience, but bigger, bolder, and better. The three Bs of a sequel: be bigger, be bolder, and be better. It also corrected some of my issues with Portia. Now, I did play it when it was first released, so I got quite a buggy experience, but I never experienced anything that was game breaking. It was mainly just to do with textures, graphical issues, the occasional crash here and there, all shit I could handle. I just love this type of game. I love a builder. I love a sort of open world, kind of not open, completely open world, but like, do you know what I mean? Like a sort of landscapey area. It reminds me almost to a degree where it's got like certain Harvest Moon elements, not Harvest Moon elements, but alongside Animal Crossing to a degree, elements like that. I love the idea of creating the relationship building. They're working on your workshop, trying to make it the best. I just love all of that. So I sunk a lot of time into my time at Sandrock. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Can't wait to see if they do a third.
Yep, indeed.
Okay, your turn. We both had that one.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go for an obvious one for both of us, but it was Shadow Man Remastered. I said I
I
played it.
Not for both of us. I played that last year. That was not
Oh,
new for me this year.
okay. Well, new for me this year. Obviously, I played over every console, completed on all the consoles. But this is what I want from a remastering.
Yeah.
It's the exact same game, and they've added little new areas and new things in it, and I love it. I love the achievements. I love the story. I love the music. I love the game, and it just was an amazing experience to actually get to play it again.
Yeah, so I can't like I will second everything you said there, but I can't like use it because I played it when it first came out, not when it was released this year. I went back to this year, I believe, because of the horror DLC.
Mm.
That was, but that's separate thing in itself. That's just playing through the game again. It is the pinnacle of remastering. This game came out this year, and it's rightfully divided opinion because is it a game? Well, it is a game, but it's certainly more of a cinematic experience. But that is what these games are. Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. Much anticipated, and to me, lived up to the expectations. It's stunning. It looks stunning. It plays brilliantly. The story is fantastic. The landscapes are amazing. I love these games. And yes, it's very cinematic. There's not much in the way of gameplay. It's not a walking simulator because there's certainly action and there's fighting and there's sneaking and stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of it's scripted parts and things like that. So I completely understand that, that it's not going to be for everybody. I loved it. So Senua Saga Hellblade 2.
Again, a game I've not played.
Yep.
Yep. So as of the time of writing my list, I hadn't even started this game yet. But since I'm not going to add it, but it's Indiana Jones. Yeah,
Oh
literally,
yeah, fair enough.
yeah. two hours into the game, and it's just absolutely magical. It's beautiful. I love the graphics. I love being chased by a boulder in the very opening of the game, which is fantastic. The music is Indiana Jones music is beautiful. Yeah.
Fair enough. I look forward to starting. I'm hoping I'll get to do it before the year's over.
Mhm.
Lastly, for my favorite games of the year, probably my favorite horror experience of the year, it's Killer Frequency. I picked this up on a whim because of the cover. And the description was like, oh, it's an 80s based slasher horror game where you're a radio DJ put in charge of 911 calls and you have to try and guide people away from a killer. I thought that sounds like a fun idea. I played a few things that I thought were similar. No, I hadn't. Not quite like this. Yes, you are a radio DJ, and for a series of events, you end up being the 911 dispatcher for the night. And people will call in under attack from a killer called the Whistling Man. So it's all about the mystery of the Whistling Man too. And it's your job to try and help them survive. The game can be played in many different ways. You can save some, you can fail to save none. It's all over the place. But at the same time, it's a horror game. We were able to move around the station freely and complete puzzles in that regard, all while unraveling this really deep mystery around the identity of the Whistling Man, who it is and what it means. I love this game. I thought it was fabulous. Killer Frequency. Everyone should check this shit out.
Again, another one I've not heard of. So.
Yeah, well, everyone should just listen to me all the time, shouldn't they? Do you have any more under the favourite?
No, I'm done with the favourites.
Special mention then. I want to give special shout outs to two other games or series in the case. So I think this goes without saying, but even though it was not new this year, they continue to support it and release DLCs galore. Every year it should top everyone's fucking list until they stop making stuff for it. Vampire Survivors and what those guys continue to deliver with that game. Big up Vampire Survivors. Stunning, continuing with the constant updates.
Yep, great. 100%.
And for me, the Hidden Cats games. Yes, the Hidden Cats in Berlin, the Hidden Cats in Paris. The latest one, Hidden Cats in Santa's Realm. Oh, yes, I love these games. It's simply so simple, but really well designed. And they cost like £3. And it'll take you like 2 hours to get like 1,000 achievements, 1,000 gamer score. But it's not about the gamer score. It's just super fun and relaxing to find these cats in these environments, turning the world colour as you complete each area. The Hidden Cats games have delighted me all year long. And as of the time recorded, like 2 days ago, Hidden Cats in Santa's Realm came out. And I was very happy to see that. So that's my special mentions.
Mm-hmm.
Right, let's jump to the worst then. I only have two in the worst, which is a good thing, I think. There were lots of games that I thought weren't great, but the worst, these are the two that I will shout about.
I've got 5.
Okay, well then you just do some. You do 2.
Okay, so my first one is a game called Grim Idol. It's very, very easy game for the 2,000 gamer score, and you can do it twice, of course, to get 4,000. But it's just a really, really horrible game. You can complete it in an hour. If you're after an achievement score, then it's a good game for you to play it. But I didn't enjoy it at all. I actually wish I hadn't started there. Yeah, I wish I hadn't started. And the fact that I was stupid, I started the first one, and then I went into the other one. But because I had both games, I downloaded the first one, clicked on the second one by mistake, and unlocked the achievement straight away. So I had both of them on my gamer cards with one achievement. So I thought, I've got to complete them now.
Well, you got it now, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and the next one is a game which you recommended, which although it was lovely for the 4,000 or 5,000 gamer score, The Lost Snowman.
Recommend? I said how easy it was. Recommending and saying it was an easy achievement for like 5,000. You know, and also, no, that's so not fair to go under the worst games of the year. That's a good little puzzle platformer. It's just because you played it in a certain way. But go on.
Yeah, it's just I personally didn't enjoy it. You know, said it was an hour game for 5,000, the gamer score of 4,000. Yeah, it's good for the gamer score, of course, but it just wasn't enjoyable.
No, that's fair enough. Okay, I'll do one, and then you do another 2, and then we'll both have one left at the end. So I've got one that was released this year and one that wasn't released this year, but I played this year. So I had heard from everybody and who everyone out there that this particular game was terrible. I'd seen the screenshots of characters and graphics and even seen like jokey gameplay, and I knew it was going to be bad. But when it went on sale for like £5, I thought, oh fuck it. Fuck it. How bad can it be? And how you might end up at least being amused by it and recording footage that you can put on the channel. I have played this game for about an hour, hated every minute of that hour, and I mean hated it, that I have now not gone back. That game sits on my gamer card, sneering at me every time I see it, knowing that one day, not only do I have to go back to it, but I'm probably going to have to start it again because I've forgotten how to play the entire fucking thing. It is Lord of the Rings Gollum. And it is as bad as everybody fucking says. And yes, it was so bad that the developers now went out of business. Good. I don't want to, I'm not championing people losing their jobs at all. But like, I work in my job. If I did it so badly to such an extent, like, I shouldn't have it anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got at least, and I don't know what, I'm not saying each person was poor at a job or anything like that. Money, direction and all that kind of thing. But it's a fucking travesty. An actual
Yeah.
fucking travesty. And I'm so annoyed at myself for not just kind of listening to what everyone said.
Yes, yeah. As you know, I'm a massive Lord of the Rings fan. I love Lord of the Rings, and before I played that game, I read all the reviews and the comments and everything, and it just looked. And obviously, I watched some videos on YouTube, and as much as I want to play that game because I love Lord of the Rings, I'm so glad that I never touched it.
What I think is really important, because bad games, ugly games, bad like graphic games and all that are 10 a penny. What I would say to people is why you don't want to play this is because it's so fucking frustrating. The gameplay mechanics, how it plays, how it controls, and all of that is so frustrating. That's the problem. I
Mm.
could live with ugly graphics, I could live with glitches, but bad gameplay, that's really hard to get past. Go on, do two more then.
So I've got again. It was another. I don't know if you want to call it an indie game, but it was called the Frog Detective. The entire mystery. Again, it was on Game Pass. A very easy completion, but my god, it was a horrible game. I did literally you spent about an hour just watching frogs dancing and talking and it just. I remember playing it and my kids walking in and watching me playing and going, "What the hell are you playing?" And I don't know. I have to complete it now because it's on my gamer card. It's not complete, and it just drove me insane. And it's just an hour or two of misery of a frog with a weird. Do you remember back in the day you had Slippy from Star Fox with the
Yeah.
annoying voice? It was like that, but 10 times worse.
What is it?
So
Like a point and click? What kind of game is it?
yeah, you're a frog detective who goes around and has got to solve mysteries and on an island, and the island's very small, and yeah, just really, really rubbish.
Okay. It's the other one.
Yeah, so my next one is a game called Venba. It's just one of those point and click games where you read the text and just basically a lot of it was down to reading. Reminded me of
A
the old.
bit a visual novel. You mean like a visual novel, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, sort of like open. I think it was Open Road. I think it was called or something.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah. Visual
and
novel, open roads.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and the Walking Dead games.
Yep.
But
You don't
yeah,
like them.
I don't like those games. I never had any interest. And again, I started it. I won an achievement. Thankfully, it was only a 2 or 3 hour game. But yeah, it's just not an enjoyable game. And during my list of games that I played over this year, it definitely enters that one of the worst games I played this year.
No, I understand that. Those games. I can. It depends on the quality. It depends on how interested you are. It depends the mood I'm in. I can enjoy a visual novel.
Mm.
My other worst game of the year was released this year, and honestly, everyone should know this because I did not shut up about how much I did not like this game. It is South Park Snow Day, following two incredible South Park games, The Stick of Truth and The Fractured Butthole. We hadn't had a new South Park game in a few years, and this one was going to do something a bit different. I remember seeing the images, the visuals, and hearing about the gameplay and being a bit like, well, okay, I get that they want to move away from the RPG stuff they were doing previously, but like, I wasn't too sure. But I thought, give it a chance. It's the South Park games have been really good in modern day. This game fucking stinks. I absolutely hate it. I hate how short it is. I hate how boring it is. I hate how uninteresting it is. What the hell were they doing? I'm so let down by this. It's over in like 2 hours. It's just three or four big levels that mainly you got to play with people online if you really want to get the enjoyment out of it. Um, and that's it. There's not like they've not even like added any DLC or anything like that. It just. I think it's yeah. It's so bad. And it's what makes it worse is the two previous South Park games we got, The Stick of Truth and The Fractured But Whole, are two brilliant games. So to see it fall so hard like this is surprising.
Potentially kill it to the franchise, you reckon?
No, no, it's South Park. You can't kill South Park. Might
Uh,
not be a game for a while, but no,
yeah.
it might not be. But then, like all it needs is the right developer to come along and make a good one again.
Mm.
What was your last one?
The last one was a game we spoke about before, like on previous videos, but it was Turnip Boy Robs the Bank.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. They made two of these games. I've only played one of them. And again, it's one of those games which is a very, very easy completion. But it was a game which I started and I kind of wish I didn't start. But then I had no choice. Well, obviously, I had a choice. I could have turned it off. But obviously, I wanted to finish it because I was going through a phase of wanting to complete games. And yeah, it was 6 hours of just it was just you're doing the same thing every single level. It was entering a bank, robbing people. You had like 10 minutes to do it, and then get back out again, and the same thing over and over and over again, and trying to progress the story. And it just was no interest at all in that game.
yeah. I've not played any of these games to be fair. I might eventually get around and play some, depending when they're cheap or if they're free and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm glad you corrected yourself there. You keep using the words "I had no choice." It's like you do have a freaking choice, you lunatic. Like no one's
Yeah,
holding a gun to your head saying, "Finish Turnip Boy robs the bank." Shit, finish it. Or I'm gonna shoot your children. You know. Yeah. Thankfully, I actually thought I'd have more on my worst list. But mainly, it's been lots of games that are fine and good, or like games that just were like, all right, they existed, but nothing I was like outright that I thought was bad. Hence the reason I've just got the two that I do.
mm,
Let's do disappointing now. And this isn't necessarily games that disappointed you, it's disappointed gaming experiences. So it can be kind of tied in. So I'll give you an example. I'll open with the one. It's the one that if you've been watching for the last 4, 5, 6 months, it is the one I've not shut up about. And I will not shut up until it's fixed or until the developer issues an open apology to everybody that bought their game. It is Fabledom and its bugs. It is as simple as that. The broken ass Fabledom, a game that I absolutely have so much warm love for because the gameplay and the building aspects and the relaxed nature of it is so appealing to me. But when you have a bug that it doesn't occur for everybody, which seems to confuse the developer to such an extent they can't work out how to fix it, supposedly, you have a bug where everybody just freezes and then dies slowly, killing your entire game. And the problem with that is Fabledom's games will go on 7, 8, 10 hours, and then boom, it can just hit. And unless you were making backup saves along the way, but it doesn't matter. Even if you save 5 minutes before that bug hit, it will hit anyway because it's the game, not the specific
yeah.
save file. The developer promised to fix it. Then they said they did, and they released a patch. And then everybody went, or at least everybody who bothered them on Twitter, which isn't to be fair, it's not many, because not a lot of people bought this game, which is why I think the developer's going to quietly not fix it. But
Mm.
they were like, "Oh yeah, we fixed it," and like, "No, you haven't." So like, I ended up creating a video and using that video as proof, and then saying to the developer on Twitter like, "There's a fucking proof. Look at the
Mm.
goddamn bug." And then about a month, 2 months ago, they released another patch. But in this one, they at least were like, we fixed it for some. What does that even mean?
Thanks for some.
What does that even mean? And I certainly haven't been, my games haven't been fixed. And now all I ever see is them tweeting about other games. I have now given up hope on this game ever being fixed. Do not buy Fableman. You could say, well, why isn't this in your worst games of the year? Because the game itself is still brilliant. I
Mm.
love it. It's just so and you could probably play for the entire game and never hit that bug. Hell, I reckon if I started 2 new games now, I might not hit the bug in one of my games.
Yeah.
The problem is the only achievements I have left in this game are the hardest difficulty ones. To get to 300 Fabledings on crawl difficulty. Not only is that very difficult, but it's also very time consuming. My game is about 12 hours deep.
Mm.
I am 13 people short of that number in that game. And that's when the bug hit. You think I want to fucking start that all over again? Just for the chance for it to happen to me again further down the line. What I want is them to fix my fucking game so when I load that file up, they're not all frozen and starving to fucking death. So I can just finish it and forget it exists. That's what.
Yeah, I've actually watched this game on YouTube, and it's my type of game I would love to play.
Of course it is. Yeah.
But because I'm worried I could get that glitch, I won't play it. I won't play it because the fact that I do like to complete games. I said I'm not obsessed with it, but I do like to complete games, and the fact that potentially that could happen, it puts me off.
Yeah, absolutely. It should put you off. It should put everybody off. I will continue to stand on this platform. Do not buy Fable until the developer fixes it. They took my money. They were quick to take my fucking money. And it's now been, God, it's been what, 5-6 months? Still broken. Yeah. Go on. Have you got any that's disappointing experiences?
I've only got one actually, really, and
well,
again,
no. If that's the case, I've got a few more. So let me do some of mine, and then you can do yours, so that we keep it balanced. Right. A few months ago, about October time, a game popped up in the store on my Xbox called Games Advent Calendar 2024. And I was like, oh my God, it's a Christmas game. Woo! I'm going to buy that and I'm going to record the footage. And we've got Christmas games. We don't get many Christmas games. Last year, we had a Grinch game that I thoroughly enjoyed. But I was like really pleased to see this. And I thought, fantastic. But I was like, God damn, they're releasing this early. They're releasing in October. That's weird, right? Why not release at least in November? Like, so that it's a bit nearer the time. But I thought, buy it and then just leave it and maybe play it. Stop playing it at the end of November, you know? Anyway, end of November comes along. I load it up. I create my little character. I go to the first station because how it works is you're on a train and you go to each station and each day there'll be a game to play, right? So I went to the first station and couldn't play it. It's an advent calendar, so it turns out you couldn't. Even though you could buy it in October, you couldn't actually start it until the 1st of December. I presume, obviously, if you fucked around with the internal clock, played it offline, that kind of thing, you could. But I was like, you know what? Fine. That's fine. I will play along with this. I will play along with the idea of doing it every day. Figured, even if I missed a day, I could then just go back and do each day. Like, so, for example, over the last nearly 2 weeks of playing this game, there have been days where I've done like three days worth because I'd missed 3. And all it is going station to station and playing the game that's behind that door. It is very cynical to say this, but hey, what is Christmas if not buying a load of shit that you then give somebody and they hate? That's what I did for myself. I bought something that was a load of shit. I got tricked into buying, and now I sit there every day feeling miserable that I have to load it up and play the one fucking game that it's got for today. Honestly, fuck the developer and fuck this game. It is not the worst game because it works. It works. That's the thing. It all works fine, and the concept is good. The music's nice. The overworld, the hub world, is the best thing about it. The train and the jolly little snowy land and all of that, it's all very Christmassy. The problem is the games. The games. Think of the crappiest mobile games you could think of. So it's like, oh, it's Tetris, but not just Tetris. Badly done Tetris. It's that game, you know, where you're like the platform and the ball bounces off it and knocks in the blocks.
Yeah.
It's a match. One of them is a match 3 game. Another's a really short platformer. And again, it's just mini games. So you're like, well, okay, you could play them multiplayer, but it's couch multiplayer, so you pass the controller around. Who the fuck wants to do that? All you're doing as well is setting a high score. You're not playing against each other. It'd be like me playing the match 3 game, setting a score, then handing the controller to you, and now it's your turn to set a score. Ooh,
Mm.
that's fun, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
all just so but some of the games are a little broken. A little broken. So there's one where it's like Frogger, but if the snowballs that the cannons are shooting, or like, some of them disappear, so you can't fucking see them. And
Mm.
it's not a game thing because they'll be there and then they'll immediately vanish. But there is one that I think is a real problem. And I think it actually stops the game being playable for a certain group of people. There is a game where you have to ice skate. And to do it, you have to hit the bumpers rhythmically, like this, in rhythm. So you're doing them in rhythm like that. As you can tell, quite hard in your fingers. It is actually quite hard, really hard to do, and very awkward on my fingers. And I've got no coordination issues, so I'm okay. But it got me thinking, and then I read a review on Xbox of somebody who said that they had disabilities.
Mm.
They couldn't do it. They can't do it because it's so challenging. Their injuries, their issues mean that they can't complete this game.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I thought about it. It took me 6 tries to get the high score to beat Krampus's score, which is how you unlock achievements in this one particular game. 6 times. These games are just nothing but mobile. All the others, you just like it takes me 5 minutes to do each game, if less than
Yeah.
that sometimes. But this one, I was there for 20 minutes and my fingers were aching at the end because it
Mm.
was so hard to get the rhythm going, you know? And I was like, oh my God, what is like the entire thing and what it seems like, and I'm now convinced the reason why they put it on sale early is for to trick people who saw it like me and went, I'm going to get that and play that at Christmas
Oh, okay. So yeah.
before because nobody was likely to be able to review it. Because
Mm.
what could you review? You couldn't review the games unless you had done them offline, but nobody was really going to do that, were they? And like, see what I mean? So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I think they were banking on people just buying it, like I did. To be honest, this actually should go in the worst. Thinking about it now, I've criticized it so much. It probably should
Mm.
be one of the worst games of the year. But I will say, like, I've not seen all the mini games. Now, hilariously as well, just to add more crapness to this, not all 24 are unique. They repeat. Some of them are just extra levels. So, like the platformer one, I've done that platformer one 3 times now
Oh,
in
for
12
God's sake.
days.
That's like
Yeah.
it's like a celebration advent calendar where you get bounty every day. Um,
Basically, yeah, that's it. Every so often, there are one or two that I haven't hated. So
mm.
does that mean like every so often? But like, yeah, this was such a shock, a surprise, the disappointing game. So that's Games Advent Calendar 2024. I'm gonna do another one, and then you can jump in with yours.
Yep.
Um, Disney Dreamlight Valley. I've sunk a lot of time into this, and I thoroughly enjoyed the sort of open world, the sort of world and the Disney and the fact that they're adding so much content to it constantly. What bothers me is that they are, and this is going to be such a minor complaint, which is why it's disappointing. No new achievements. They keep adding more and more content, most of it free, but then they've added like big DLC packs that cost like 25 quid because it's quite significant. But
Mm.
they have added no new achievements. All you've got is the base 15 achievements, which, as everybody knows, are fucking horrendous in themselves. You know, one of them I may never do because it's going to take so long to do. But it's like, yeah, they keep releasing content for Disney Dreamlight Valley, but not actually adding any new achievements. So I've got very little drive to go back and play it.
So can you still play the game without the DLC?
Yeah. It's a free to play game, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because so the DLC doesn't like you have to have the DLC to do this
No.
part. Okay,
No.
okay,
No, and
yeah,
I don't want to buy the DLC because there's no achievements. Like it's just like I don't really want to get into it, you know?
yeah, of course, of course.
Okay, I've got 2 more, but you might as well jump in with your one.
Yeah, so I had to really think about what really disappointed me about like gaming, and I struggled. And the only one that I could really think about, and again, it was actually quite recently, and it actually affected you quite badly, and it's affected me now too, and that's Tomb Raider,
Yeah,
Tomb
Tomb
Raider,
Raider.
and the glitches. I said after discussing with you last week about the fact that it could be the factor of the console I'm using. I'm sorry, but that is just absolutely. piss poor and disgusting of a developer. There is no excuse for it. So because my Xbox might be too advanced for the game, I'm saying potentially, I can't unlock certain
It's
achievements.
not. It's not about the advancement. It's an update, an XS update that was applied to all the games to kind of update them a bit. Uh, Here's the thing: is I can't 100% confirm that I can't. I just know that a lot of people said that. I discovered this online, and then when I tested it out, it worked. However, I also have to backtrack slightly. I've been unlocking all the Rise of the Tomb Raider achievements on my Xbox X
Mhm. So
without an issue. Yeah.
I've only had two issues, and that's as I told you before, is to completing the game and completing the game on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't say it before, but when we were talking about the endurance thing, now, because I was so worried, you were saying about how that you wanted to, you left after a certain amount of time so you could do it again. Me, my reasons for leaving the map early was because the fact that I feared that if I unlocked four achievements at once, they ain't all gonna unlock.
Right.
So I was worried. So I'm purposely doing my 6 days, leaving,
Staggering them.
and,
Staggering them.
and just in case,
I
And
get
I have
that.
had it. I have had it. Like I won an achievement on it yesterday, and the eat the five deer meats after poisoning the wolf, and I know I did it. I got the challenge, and 10 minutes later, the achievement popped.
Yeah, I've had delayed. I've had delayed ones as well. I have too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it's very very minor, and I know my glitches I can fix. So I'll forgive them for that. But yeah, like I said, it's very very minor.
Yeah, it's a disappointing thing. I get you thinking. I am going to talk about achievements, but in a different section because underneath. Right, let me just wrap up the disappointing. So, to kind of add my disappointment, Coffee Talk Episode 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly, which is, of course, the Coffee Talk sequel. I loved Coffee Talk. I loved that game so much. I got so invested in the story. I was so excited for Hibiscus and Butterfly. And it's just not very good. It's just it's the same game and that's fine and the story's deeper and bigger, but I realized it just wasn't as interesting. And
Mhm.
like whereas Coffee Talk, the first one really stayed with me afterwards,
Yep.
Coffee Talk episode 2, I've kind of forgotten existed until I was looking back through the games I played to try and prompt me. I was like, oh yeah, Hibiscus and Butterfly. Oh yeah. And I was like, there we go. So yeah, it's just a fact disappointing because it just wasn't as good as the first one.
Yeah, I've actually I've completed both those games, and although they ain't my type of games, I love the first one. The second one, yeah, it's very very disappointing.
Yeah, just not that memorable.
Hmm.
And lastly, disappointing. Now, this might be a bit harsh, but hear me out. Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. It is a disappointing because I think they missed a trick here. And I think the fact that basically it is achievement related, they just repeated all the achievements from the original. I think, why didn't they come up with fresh new ones? Like,
Hmm.
why didn't they come up with fresh new ones? In fact, I'd argue because of the differences with 7 Day Survivor, it actually made it worse. Like,
Mm.
because it's easier and less like challenging. I don't know. I just feel like, oh, it's a real shame they didn't have more imagination with the achievements and tried to change up what it was rather than just kind of repeating the majority of the ones from the original game.
I haven't played it yet, but again, I've heard that all online that I know they changed the Seven of Survivors a lot easier. It's not
Yeah,
as
yeah.
challenging, and I've heard a lot of people criticizing the graphics and stuff like that. The graphics were better in the original one compared to yeah.
Right. That's nonsense. Whoever said that, whatever corner of the internet you have found that nonsense, that person does not know what the fuck they're talking about. You can say the graphics have issues, they do. But do not turn around and say the original was looked better. That's just someone being an idiot.
I think the example they used was where when you're looking in a mirror in the original, you can see your reflection. In this game, you can't.
Oh my god! Well, oh my god! Well, who gives a that's the example. Fucking go outside at night in that game, in Dead Rising, and look at the lampposts. Look at the lighting. That's where you notice how good it looks.
Yeah.
Nonsense. Right. We also said we'd do a few frustrating experiences. Now, for me, this is different, disappointing because frustrating is where you're just like, oh no, I've got two. I don't have many. I've came up with two, and they're achievement related more than anything else. Do you have anything to add here?
I've got one.
Okay, let me do my one. One of mine, then do yours. coming up again. It's coming up again. South Park Snow Day. And it's viral fucking achievement. We thought these were gone. The whole spread something online. Oh, you got to play online with someone who's got a chat viral, who's got this thing, and then you would get it. We all thought they were done, but no. South Park Snow Day came back with one. Not only this, one with very strict rules about how to actually get it. You think you just join a lobby with somebody that's got it? Fuck off! You've got to go to the hub world with them. Except they could end up quitting out the game halfway through, disconnecting, like whatever. Oh, but also nobody could unlock it for the first month or two because nobody seemed to have it. And then the developer was like, oh, and then it was starting to spread. And you were messaging people and asking them for help and asking them to spread and stuff like that because naturally it was everyone's last achievement. So most people were getting it and then immediately quitting out.
Yep.
I did the same. Not quitting out, I mean like deleting the game. I did it, completed it, uninstalled it. I have the game still because I bought it, I own it. So whenever anyone actually wants help with it, I will help. Because I went through it. It cost me no harm to load the game up and get into a lobby and go to the hub world with someone with this stupid fucking mask. But honestly, these achievements they had already died. I don't know what. Doesn't it just speak to volumes about the sucky developer who only made a bad game, but then put this dumb achievement in there? Well, what's your one?
I actually have two. Sorry, because I actually have two. So.
No worries. Do your one.
My first one is Yakuza Shinden, and it's the achievement, the Taskmaster achievement, which is to complete the game 100%.
All right.
Now, nothing familiar with it's actually quite familiar with Yakuza games. Most of them have it, but this specific game, the worst out of the entire series, in my opinion, even though it's nothing to relate it to Yakuza, it's just a standalone Yakuza game. But this achievement, there's one specific thing you got to do for the 100%, and it's basically all down to luck RNG, where you might have to just keep repeating the same, making weapon over weapon over weapon, and hoping you're lucky to get the correct sphere on the weapon. But it's all down to luck RNG, and that one specific thing took me about 4 hours of me sitting there buying the equipment, making the weapon. Nope, I didn't get it. Reload and save. Again, over and over and over again until I finally got it. And the spears, there's like 60 of them you've got to collect. 60. I had a list of paper of all of them written down, of which I'm ticking them off. It was just so ridiculously stupid. But yes, before you say it, I did do it. I didn't have to do it, but I did do it.
No, I think when it comes to 100% completion, sometimes you'll do things that are crazy, really, to a degree. And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. I am very much an anti-advocate of RNG stuff. Any game that asks you to do something or requires you to do something that is randomized and then put an achievement attached to that, the developer needs to slap me on the back of the head. I've played enough of these games to experience it myself. But you know who else needs to slap me on the back of the head? Developers who fuck their games up and resulting in unobtainable achievements. And when I mean unobtainable, I mean unobtainable outside of having to do stupidly insane shit. So, I wanted to talk about later daters, but I actually played later daters in 2023, so I can't. But I just want to tell people, as much as avoid later daters, 2 achievements are unobtainable and the developer has basically vanished off the face of the earth, from what I understand. They're never going to be fixed. But this year, I have played some weird games. You know, sometimes you just play weird games. And one of the games I sort of regularly play are these horse riding games, where you're like a teenage girl and you're on a horse and you're doing like riding around your crappy little, and they look and play like shit. They look like shit. They've got awful collectibles, and I don't know why I torture myself with them. But for some reason, when one comes along, it'll be like My Unicorn Princess. And I'm just like, boom! Yeah. Sold to me. Yes, developer, I will give you £35 for your game. Of course, you know, I've got something wrong with me where I just want to do that. And one I played this year was called My Little Riding Champion Horse Girl.
We played Peppa Pig, we played Paw Patrol, so yeah.
Paw Patrol's great. Don't knock Paw Patrol. I love that Paw Patrol game, the open world one. That's a great game. That big game a bit. But yes, I played this. And here's the thing. It's not about them being easy completions. They're not. because the collectibles alone are so frustrating that like it's not an easy. I just kind of like them.
Mm.
Anyway, this one was they're all broken in their own way. Warn you now, if you ever see these games in the developer, they're all broken in their own way. But they've all been completable until now. This one has an unobtainable achievement. And it's the achievement is a horse goal. A total of 24 hours spent on horseback. And what I mean is 24 hours, 24 hours overall. Now, as you play through the game, naturally you would think that will be ticking up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it would, except this achievement just will not unlock for anyone at all, no matter what you do. You could leave it running. You could put a elastic band around a stick and wait 24 hours. It won't unlock. Unless you own the physical copy of this game and then play. This is how you would have to get this achievement. I've looked into it because I was just like, are you kidding me? I have 19 out of 20. Let me finish this game, please. How do I get around this? You need to own a physical copy of this game. And then you need to play it offline. So the patch that was released when the game first came out doesn't apply. Now you might think, well, just delete the game, patch and all that kind of thing. No, it doesn't work that way. The patch is applied no matter what. It was a day one. Patch is applied. That's it. There was no way to complete this game without owning a physical copy, playing it offline, and doing it that way. So I was like, well, okay, the game's dog shit, right? The game's dog shit. You know what? I'll pay a 20 pound for a physical copy of this game. I'll do it. You know, fuck it. I really want to complete it. This game is so rare. Copies are going for 60 to 80 pounds on eBay. It's so rare. And basically, it's people who want to complete it paying stupid money for it. So that's me out. That's me out. But fucking hell, how frustrating is that, right? This is stuck on my gaming card at 19 or 20 and I'll never be able to complete it. And it'll never be patched. It'll never be patched. It's already a really old game.
Absolutely ridiculous. Just who knows? Maybe one day in computer exchange, you might see a copy there for like a fiver. So
the fact that I was surprised that it. Here's the thing: like the game like this, the fact a physical copy even exists is rare in itself. There aren't going to be many of them.
True. Yeah. True.
Okay, you had another one, yeah.
So my last one is this one was frustrating for me personally. So it's Unravel 2. So I started this game like 2 years ago, and there was one particular achievement called Hard and Fast where you got to complete all 20 bonus levels in 45 minutes, and the timer still counts during the loading screens, so everything. So. And I watched all the videos online. I watched everything. For a whole year, I tried this achievement. Couldn't do it. I was so annoyed, pissed off. I deleted it repeatedly, gave up on it. And then at random, about a month ago, I downloaded it. I thought I'd try it again. I did it my first try. And it was just so frustrating, the fact that I don't know why I couldn't do it previously. Whether or not I just wasn't as good as I was now, or if my reactions wasn't as good, but it was just so frustrating that the amount of time I put into that. It reminds me back in the day of the Batman shock and awe treatments where I couldn't do it, but then I did it recently in Batman a while ago. So, yeah.
No, it's funny how it works. That reminds me of like the game Zombie. I had one achievement left in Zombie. For so long, it was complete the game at the hardest difficulty, and the problem with the hardest difficulty is it's permadeath. If you die, you have to start the game again, and there was no like pausing it really quick. There's no resetting. Like no, you would die and it's immediate. Like it's immediate, and you would have to start the game. Oh, it probably over 2 year period, I must have tried that. Well, every so often, every 2 years, and then I'd get like 4 or 5 hours into the game. Die and be so fucked off that I would delete the game and be like, well, I'm never going to complete this. And then go back to it, try again, and so on. Eventually, I just did it. Eventually, I was like, right, let me try again. And then I just did it. Just funny how it works like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so we got a few more little bits before we wrap this up. We've got, right, let's do the game you think you sunk the most time into. Mine is so easy in this. In fact, I don't even think it. I know it. It's been confirmed because I've seen the stats. So what's yours?
Mine is no surprise. It's Like a Dragon, Yakuza Ishinden. 114 hours to complete that game.
Very good. Well, I don't have the exact number of hours. For me this year, folks, it is Red Dead Redemption 2. This was the year where I decided to complete or do as much completion of Red Dead Redemption 2 as I possibly could. And because of that, I think it might have been like 65, 70 hours. But either way, it was quite a lot in the Red Dead Redemption 2. So that's mine.
More than Elden Ring.
Was Elden Ring? No, Elden Ring was last year.
I was okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, we're not doing of all time. If we're doing of all time, then it'll either be Skyrim or Elden Ring. But no, just
Mm.
this year. Yeah. Okay, favorite achievements. I asked you to come up with five. Have you got five or less or more?
Yeah, I've got five, yeah.
I've got five too. So we're just going to quickly let's not go wild with it. Let's just tell her what it is, and we'll go from there. So I will jump in first with Metal Gear Solid. Yes, the Metal Gear Solid was re-released, not remade or remastered or anything like that. Re-released on the Xbox with achievements, and I have included my favorite achievement as being "Practice Makes Perfect," which is to complete all VR training missions, which is tricky. It doesn't actually say what that really is. It's a lot more than it entails. But when doing it, I thought I did this back in the PlayStation 1 back in the day, and I was getting I was trying to get number one in the rankings, not even worrying about because in this you don't have to. You can get fucking be last and it mean nothing towards the achievement.
Yeah.
You just need to complete it. So doing it again so many years later, but with an achievement attached, it was just really cool.
Yep. Yeah. So, shockingly, I've also got Metal Gear Solid on my one, but my one is Elite, which is obviously to get the big boss ranking. Now, because I didn't realize that there was a glitch to do it, I had to do it legit.
Right,
And
stop right there. I'm going to stop you right there. It is not a glitch. A glitch
uh,
is something wrong in the game. This is a workaround, an actual legitimate thing in the game to
mm,
work a way around it. It's not a glitch. That
okay,
implies people are cheating.
a workaround which I
Yeah,
didn't realize, and I wish I had realized because it would have made it
obviously.
10 times easier. But yeah, I just felt that one I was actually proud of that achievement because it was so difficult. But yeah,
You did it. You did it.
yeah.
That's insane. Uh, Evil West. Come back to Evil West, and the achievement is Weird West Superhero, and it's beat the game on Evil difficulty, which of course is the hardest difficulty that you will play on the new game plus. So all your upgrades come over. Listen, it's just old school hard mode where everything's tougher. You need to be the best player you can be, and completing it and beating the end boss and all of that is just super satisfying.
Mm. Um, Goat Simulator Remastered.
Right.
The achievement called Voluntary QA, and it's just because it's just such a random, stupid achievement where you somehow find your way into the developer's server room, you destroy the servers, and it crashes the entire game on the screen
That's
and it
funny.
comes up with what the f have you done? You've ruined the entire game. Your game's been deleted, and then about 5 minutes later, it comes back on saying only joking. So yeah, just really really cool, very funny, weird game, but yeah.
Yeah, I get that. It's quite a little fun little achievement, isn't it? I am right. Do you know I'm a really big fan of achievements that are get to the highest point of this, climb this building and things like that. I love that shit, right? I really, really do. Star Wars Jedi Survivor has one called King of the World, which has reached the highest points of Harvest Ridge. More of that. I love it. If you're going to stick me in a little open world area with things I can climb, make an achievement for me to get to the highest point. I always love that shit because it gives me a chance to stand there, look out at the world and all of that. Big fan of it. Yep. So that one there. It's a random one, but I really liked it. Liked it.
Yeah, it reminds me of Assassin's Creed when you do like the big jumps of the building and stuff like yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, this one is often a very old game, which I went back to and recently completed beginning of this year, but it's from Left 4 Dead, and it is for me personally, this is my ultimate favorite achievement, and it is the Untouchables achievement to complete the final part of the game without being hit at all. Now,
Yeah.
doing it with four
Crazy.
other people is probably a lot easier, but I did it with the four computers, and I've won that achievement 3 times on 3 different consoles, and it's my ultimate favorite achievement, and I love it. Yeah,
Crazy achievement, but man. Yeah. Well done. My time at Sandrock. I wanted to get one from this game because it was one of my favorites, and I was looking at what I could choose from it, and this is the one I think. So I've chosen one that I think encapsulates the game completely, and it's kind of a big deal. Workshop upgraded to 5 star. So effectively, you're really at the end of the game here. You've done so much that you're upgraded to the point where you're the highest ranked workshop there. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I love that shit.
Not there yet. I'm at about 4 stars at the moment, so but I'm getting there.
Yeah.
So Yakuza. So Yakuza Like a Dragon. It's called Victory of the Millennium Tower. So obviously, after beating the game, you got to be also, you got to go through the final stage of the tower and beat all the bosses in a row. I did that and didn't realize that it was a fake run, which actually comes up and saying, "Well done, you completed it, but this is a fake one. Now here's the real one, so you have to do it again,
Right.
but even harder." And it's just the fact that it's so bloody difficult that you have to go through about 10 bosses in a row, your same health. And you have to basically nail everything spot on, all the timing, all the moves, everything. Yeah, just like love that achievement. So
That sounds so frustrating.
it was.
Mine was pretty not frustrating because it's all very, very simple. My last one, but it was very, very long, and I was determined to do it because I knew I was never going to 100% complete this game because of all its online stuff. So I decided, well, if I do this achievement, it will be good enough for me to accept this game is complete. It's Red Dead Redemption 2, best in the West. You obtained 100% completion. Now that is in the single player. So you've done everything the game. You've collected everything. You've done everything you can possibly do in this single player. It was the last achievement I got in this game, outside of a few of the multiplayer ones. But basically, having this achievement said to me, "You're done. It's okay to not play any more Red Dead Redemption 2, not to worry about the online. Just enjoy the fact that you sunk so much time. You did a very long-winded, and a lot of it's long-winded because of the animals and the books and the plants and all the things you got to collect and find and stuff like that. It's a very long-winded experience, but I did it. That's it. Yeah.
I've never actually played for either of them, the first and the second one. The co-op is it two-player co-op, or is it multiple?
There is no co-op. What do you mean?
The online, so the online.
It's open world, everyone.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
there's a lot. There's a lot. It's Rockstar stuff. Remember, it's like Grand Theft Auto
Yeah.
Online. It's Rockstar stuff. Yeah, I know. I understand that's off-putting to you. I know this, and I know you're not going to hear what I say here, but both those games are games of like the best games ever made. Like
Mm.
both of them individually are the best games ever made. Red Dead Redemption 1 is one of the best games ever made. And Red Dead Redemption 2 is also one of the best games ever made. Everybody says it for good reason, and I agree. So I do hope one day you will get around. Maybe you'll get around to it. I don't know.
I think it was more the fact that when I returned to the Xbox, like playing the Xbox again for like after like 4 or 5 years, that I'd passed that period. But obviously, I'm slowly getting through older games
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Maybe at some point I will.
it's there. You got any
So
more?
yeah, my last one was just one I picked out at random, but it always reminded me of it, and it happened earlier this year. So it was Final Fantasy VIII, the remastered version, and the achievement is the end of game, which is pretty self-explanatory. You complete the
Yeah.
game, and obviously Final Fantasy VIII was always one of my favorite ones, and yeah, just it's
It's
remastered
nice
Final
to go back and
Fantasy.
have that, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, we're about to wrap this up then. Sort of look back at the year that was. I'm going to end with just a simple question, really. Obviously, there's been tons and tons of games that have come out that neither of us been able to play. Hell, we started this talking about Indiana Jones, talking about Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver remastered and The Thing and all of that. So what I wanted to do was end this on a question, which is a game that's out now that you want to play, you just don't have the time yet, but you basically go into. And like, I could have done Indiana Jones, but I haven't. I've actually looked. Now, this is a good timing. Is this went on Xbox Game Pass last week, and I downloaded it and I'm ready to play it because it's single player as well. Aliens: Dark Descent. Have you seen this? Yeah.
I've seen it, yeah, I've seen it, but I was worried about. I was worried about it. I haven't done any research because I was worried about after the isolation one, not isolation, sorry, the one that me and you played, Elite.
No,
So
it's single player, completely single player, completely different to Elite. And Firestorm Elite we had fun with. It's just, fuck that. Some of that was really hard at the end.
Yeah.
But Aliens Dark Descent is single player, it's squad based. Yeah, this is one that I reckon next time we do a video, I'm hoping to be able to say, right, I started it.
Mm. Yeah, so mine's going to be pretty obvious, but it actually came out in January 26th. January the 26th at the start of this year. But it's Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth. So it's the last one. It's the only one I haven't played. It's the last one that's come out. I'm sure there'll be more down the line, but it's the last one I haven't played, and I've had it on my gamer card for about 6-7 months now. But I haven't played it because I know that this is an 80+ hour game.
Yeah, it's going to be another big investment, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm not ready to start at the moment.
No, I get that completely, but it's there, and you're right. There is another coming. It's a piratey one.
Yeah.
I've seen it in the games coming soon. Like looks like pirates or some shit like that. I don't fucking know. The games are mad.
Yeah.
There you go, folks. That's our look back as our year, the 2024, the year that was, the games that we've been playing, the achievements we enjoyed, the things we haven't, and so on. What's some of yours? You know what to do. Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website where reviews, news, and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at gbhbl. Just search for gbhbl and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.